Walter Winchell, 1897 to 1972. 1924, ex-vaudevillian Walter Winchell hired by New York Evening Graphic and soon gains popularity as Broadway reporter and columnist. June 1929, goes to work as a columnist for William Randolph Hearst's New York Daily Mirror, a job he will keep for over 30 years. Hearst's King Features syndicates Winchell column nationwide. It eventually appears in more than 2,000 papers. Inventor of modern gossip column naturally becomes regular at New York celebrity night spot, the Stork Club. May 1930, makes radio debut as Broadway gossip newscaster, moves on to great popularity with Lucky Strike Dance Hour program, and in December 1932, on Sundays at 9 p.m., the program for Jergens Lotion on the NBC Blue Network, weekly Winchell quarter hour of insider gossip and general news, soon claims radio's largest audience, and his opening gambit, "Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. American and all the ships at sea. Let's go to press," becomes part of American parlance. In March 1932, begins covering Lindbergh kidnapping case. Aided in his coverage from tips by FBI Chief J. Edgar Hoover, continues to cover the case through the arrest of Bruno Hauptmann in 1934 and trial in 1935. February 1933, almost alone among public commentators and among well-known Jews, begins public attack on Hitler and American Nazis, including Bund leader Fritz Kuhn. Continues attack on radio and in column until outbreak of World War II. Coins neologisms, Razzies, and swastinkers to ridicule the Nazi movement. January through March 1935, lauded for his work covering Hauptmann trial by J. Edgar Hoover, Hoover and Winchell subsequently trade information about American Nazis that winds up in Winchell's column. 1937, supporting column for Roosevelt and New Deal leads to May White House investigation and regular communication between the president and Winchell. Feud grows between Hearst and Winchell over Winchell's public support of FDR. Friendship develops between Winchell and New York neighbor mobster Frank Costello. 1940, Winchell's combined audience for column and newscast estimated at 50 million, more than a third of America's population. His annual salary of $800,000 places him among the highest-paid Americans. Winchell steps up attack on pro-Nazi activities, with features in his column such as the Winchell column versus the Fifth column, strongly endorses FDR for an unprecedented third term, writes pseudonymous columns for PM, attacking Republican candidate Wilkie after Hearst censors Winchell's criticism of Wilkie in Daily Mirror. April through May 1941, attacks Lindbergh for isolationist and pro-German statements, warns Nazi foreign minister von Ribbentrop that America has the will to fight, and is then attacked by Senator Burton K. Wheeler for blitzkrieging the American people into war. September 1941, after Lindbergh's Des Moines speech, charging Jews with pushing America toward war, writes that Lindbergh's halo has become his noose, and repeatedly attacks Lindbergh as well as Senators Wheeler, Nye, Rankin, and others he identifies as pro-Nazi. December 1941 to February 1972. After America's entrance into World War II, Winchell's newscasts and columns deal predominantly with war news. As Lieutenant Commander in Naval Reserve, presses FDR for assignment and is called to active duty in November 1942. With end of war, turns to far right, becomes fierce foe of the Soviet Union and anti-communist supporter of Senator Joseph McCarthy, fades in near obscurity in the mid-1950s. At his death in 1972, funeral attended only by his daughter.